Hi, Sean Huxter here. Welcome to Magic Little Worlds with me. Today we're going to talk about these knockoffs. Now, I'm not going to call them knockoffs. I know I just did, but they are not knockoffs. A knockoff to me is something that pretends to be the original and tries to copy the original, but is unofficial. This is not. This is primetime made in China. These are, I would say these are what I would like to call Polly Pocket adjacent figures or playsets, which are using the concept of the Polly Pocket, which is a compact that opens and has an interior little magical world and figures and usually play features and things like that. So we have 4 of these here. Now, it's interesting because these are not dated in any way, so I don't really know when they were created. I could look it up, I'm sure. And I bought these for inspiration only. I bought these because the compacts themselves have some interesting features inside, and that inspires me to make my own sets. But I ended up getting more than I wanted because I would buy one, and then I'd see another one for a fairly good price that maybe had a figure with it, or was less damaged, or was more complete. Some of them had missing doors or missing features, and eventually I bought a bunch of these, and my goal is to work through these sets and make a really good one of each. And we'll have to see how that goes. I'm not going to do that tonight. That's not what I'm doing here right now. What I'm doing right now is to show the sets themselves, what they are, what they aren't, what some of them are and what some of them aren't. And I'll tell you about that. What's that all about in a minute. But what's really interesting is that some of them have My Secret Fairy Tales as labels. But then there's a variant that has the actual fairy tale. Like this is Snow White and this is Cinderella. So I don't quite know what that's about either. This one's Goldilocks and Goldilocks. This one is Little Red Riding Hood, Little Red Riding Hood, Little Red Riding Hood. But this is My Secret Fairy Tales, Cinderella. My Secret Fairy Tales, Snow White. So I'm not sure. Maybe they didn't have licenses. I really don't know what's behind the variants. But right now we're going to look at each one in turn and show what is there, what should be there, what isn't there. And there's a reason I say that. So this is Goldilocks and the 3 bears. So when I opened this, when I bought the first one, I bought this for the inspiration. Inside, this is really nice. This is Polly Pocket quality. At least I think so. Now, one thing I found out about these is, you see this little tab here? Some of these have tabs, some have screws. If there's a screw, this is an electric set. It actually lights up. If it's a tab, believe me, there's nothing behind there. I've pulled one of these apart. There's nothing behind there. If there's a tab here, there's no battery compartment and there's no light. So what happens normally, and I'll explain this later, is this is a button and there's a light behind this mirror. Like this feels like an actual glass mirror. If not, it's very hard plastic. But it is a mirror. As you can see, there's my phone. There's me. Hang on. There's me. So there's my phone, and this little house opens up to a mirror, and this button, this little teddy bear here in this case, would be a button, but this is not the case because this is a little tab and there is no screw. So they made variations of this, and when I said what's there and what's not there, what I meant is that some of these have the electronics in them and some don't. So they put out 2 sets for, I think most of these, one would have the electronics and one wouldn't. And I don't know if they charged more. I really have no idea what this was like when it was on the marketplace. But when it comes down to it, this being Goldilocks and the 3 bears, you can see immediately that this is a pretty decent Polly Pocket set. So you come in here, you've got your little garden out here, you've got, foliage and little stone walkway, and here you have a gate that comes in. Some of these, I bought them without the gate. Then you have your little kitchen area here. And there's like little pots here. And as you know, with the Goldilocks and the 3 bears story, you've got your little one, your middle-sized one, your big one, of everything. So you've got your middle, big, and small pots there. You've got a stove here. You've got your porridge, your little porridge, your medium porridge, your big porridge. One, of course, is too cold. One is too hot. One is perfectly normal, or at least just right, as they say. And look at this. This is a table that's really well draped. So the quality is pretty good. Then you got your chair, right? So you got your big chair. which was too hard, I think, and then your middle chair, which was too soft, and then the little one, which was too soft, or was too delicate and broke. You could even see the breakage here, which is really cool. You got slippers under each chair, which is nice, and then you got your beds, which again, if you know the Goldilocks story, you've got one is too hard, one is too soft, and one is just right. And of course, she falls asleep, and the teddy bears or the bears come home. Oh, teddy bears. This would be the house, and it opens up. There's nothing in there, but it's fun anyway. This does represent the teddy bear's house, with a little balcony up there. I keep saying teddy bears. These are the three bears. They're not teddy bears, guys. So this is the Goldilocks set. Why? What's missing? Well, let's look at this one. I bought this one because it has the figures. This is complete, as far as I can tell. It is exactly the same as the others. It does have the door, so that's good. It has a tab here, so there is no light here. When you open this up, this is not a button. It's just a mirror, but you've got these figures. And so you've got the Papa Bear, the Mama Bear, and the Baby Bear. And of course, as you know, this is the, the too hard, the too big, the too soft, and the just right. And then if you have Goldilocks. And she's very much, a Polly Pocket-esque character. So I bought this one because it was complete. And of course, this one now, there's no difference, I think. There's nothing missing on this one that I could add to from this one. So I think this is a complete one. And I'm going to call this one done. And I'll keep this one. And I'll probably sell this to someone who's looking for a decent compact that's in good shape, but has none of the figures. So I'll put this one aside. But this is pretty much complete, and I'm quite happy to have it. Next, let's talk about My Secret Fairy Tales, or Snow White. Now, this one, okay. Let's just have a look at another one for a moment, because I want to show you something. Let's see. Yeah, so this screw here, this screw in this set here was absolutely impossible to get out. It had stripped so badly that I had to Dremel it out. So you can see I actually had to use a Dremel, and I drilled through the metal screw to get it out of there. And then when I finally did, I was able to put a battery in there. Let me just pop this open for you to show what it looks like. So I Dremeled out the screw here. Unfortunately, I had to, and that damaged the plastic. And I'm not happy with that, but since I have two, it's fine. Then I got a screwdriver under there. And I was able, and it's not easy. I don't know why they did it this way. There's just no easy way to pull this out. But when you do get it out, you see, oh, it's difficult. See, even with the screw out of place, it was very, I don't know how they managed. I don't know what they thought they were doing with this set, to be honest. There's a battery compartment with a battery. And this house, which of course is very similar to the other one, opens up, and now this button actually lights up. So each one of these mirrors used to have, or at least the ones with electronics, has an image behind the mirror. And unfortunately, you can actually see it. But when you light it up, it's supposed to light up. It's supposed to be a mirror that you can see through. And then when you do this, you can see an image through it. But you can see it without the light. So it's kind of poor implementation. But this was the worst. This screw had stripped so badly, I couldn't get this out, so I had to damage it. But it does function, so that's good. This one, I was very lucky to get the figures. Now, tell me this is interesting. This is the Seven Dwarves. Obviously not the Disney version, because this is not licensed to Disney. Disney doesn't own Snow White. It's an ancient fairy tale. So this is 3 dwarves, interestingly. This is 4 more. So this is your 7 dwarves. Excuse me, I'm hiccuping. And this is Snow White. So it's an interesting way to do it. Instead of doing, there is an actual Polly Pocket Snow White set, which is absolutely gorgeous. I do not have it. I really wish I did, but it's very expensive. It comes with 7 dwarves, and they are the Disney dwarves, and the Disney Snow White, and the Disney Witch. But this set itself, once you've gotten the battery working and the electronics working, shows Snow White and the Prince and Prince Charming. But the set itself is actually kind of interesting too, because like all Polly Pockets, again, good quality, fairly good quality. The paint's good, the image is good. You've got, rocks here. You've got a little river, a well here, a waterfall, some trees. There's no real function down here except And here's the screw. There's the screw that I had to drill out. Just put that aside. It does have this mining cart, which of course, as you know, the seven dwarves are miners. So this cart moves along the track, but it's kind of difficult to get it to move. Like this looks like it's supposed to go further, and I think it will, but it's just not doing it right now. And none of the figures can fit in there, so I don't know. Maybe this came with like a gold or some sort of ore that fits in the cart. I really don't know, because I honestly don't know what this is supposed to look like when it's absolutely complete. But I was very happy to get Snow White and all seven dwarves, even though it comes as 3 pieces. So what I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to fix the battery plate, and I'm going to open this one. And this one also has the battery screw. But this is missing the entire house. But this is actually a button, and it's got a mirror, and you can't see the image behind there. So maybe this one works better, or maybe it doesn't work at all. What I'm going to do, and it's missing the cart. You'll notice that a lot of the coloration is different inside. The water's different color. The rocks are different color. Basically, everything is differently colored. But I am going to sew together from these parts a complete, if I can, complete one that works with light. So I'll probably take whichever one of these. I'll probably take this battery compartment and replace this one, or maybe replace this back or something. Whatever works better. I'll maybe move the house over here. Like I said, whichever one in the end works better, I will make a really good functioning set from that. Let's close this. The figures may have to be in a certain place. Let's close this. And these little rope wrist bands get in the way when you close them. And it's kind of frustrating to close one of these. Maybe I'll just pack these guys up here. Maybe that'll help. And close them this way. No, even that's not working. You know what? Doesn't matter. I'm just going to push it aside. So my goal is to make a good complete one of this as well. Put that over here. Then we've got another My Secret Fairy Tales. Very messy. I haven't bothered to clean this one. And this one is, again, there's got a castle up top that opens. And this is Cinderella. This is, I guess, a fountain or lantern or something which broke off here. Easy fix. I can just put that right back in there, no problem. There's a bench here. There's a little gate here which opens in from the garden into another garden. But then you've got this little a bed here, which seems to be like right in the garden. Don't know. There's a fireplace here. Again, the quality of the interior and the design is actually quite nice. Chair here, vanity here, or bureau. Up top, you've got, again, a castle. And here, there's not even they didn't even bother to put a mirror as far as I can tell. It's just the image itself, and there is no button here. So there is, again, this screw, I think, let me just open this up. Okay, I tried. This is not going anywhere as well. So if I have to open this, I will have to Dremel that out as well. And I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, there's a light. This is an actual button. I may have to drill that out and again replace it with some other part or a part that works from this one maybe. But yeah, these are stuck, man. You cannot get these open. And I don't know what the point is, because that's the only way to open the battery or to replace the battery. Anyway, you've got a castle, Cinderella, I guess Prince Charming's castle, maybe Cinderella's castle. I don't know. This one came with no figures, and that's fine. I buy all these mostly really cheaply, just for inspiration to make my own sets. Again, this thing gets in the way for closing. But interestingly, this is just generically titled, whereas this is My Little Fairy Tales Cinderella. Now, it is the same set, except, oh, look, we're missing. This is not a button. And this, let me just open this for you. This one has a screw, or at least, you know what? I think this was actually a tab. When you open one that doesn't have a screw, because I believe this was just a plastic tab, and I had pulled it out previously, it looks the same. You'd think there was a screw there. But there is a battery compartment, but no electronics. There's no metal. So this was molded exactly the same. It's just they didn't bother to put any electronics in. And they seal the button, so you can't really do anything. There's no actual function to the button, whereas the others have a little spring action. So this pops back on. And again, there's no castle here. So my goal here, and again, no figures. The fountain was missing entirely. I bought it again specifically for inspiration to make my own sets. There was no figure here and no figure here. So I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with this. One of them, I believe, I believe this one may light up, but that's not going anywhere. So I'm going to have to drill that out and maybe pop the other one in place. But this one you see has the full castle and the image. I'm going to try to knit together, like I said, of these two parts, the best finished set that I can get, even though I don't have any of the figures. Then comes this third set, Little Red Riding Hood. These are all, the ones all have the Little Red Riding Hood label. Now, I bought one of these first, and I bought it, no figures. It's missing the house. There was a little bit of a springy throw there and a screw here. I do not know if the screw can come out. Yes, it does, actually. Earlier tonight, I did take this out, but there's no light here. So it's possible the light's not working. It's possible some wiring is missing. It's also possible the way these batteries sit, this one's got some crusting on it, and I have cleaned these in the past, so maybe I'll go at that again. But this battery here in the back sinks so low that I'm not sure it's making any contact at all. Like, there's nothing stopping this from just falling on through, where it's going to miss contact entirely. So really poorly designed. But then you've got bunnies here and mushrooms and what's supposed to be a house here, which you know is missing. And then you've got this down here. Now, I bought this with no figures, and the bed swings open because what the point here is that Granny is supposed to be here, and then there's a wolf figure, and the wolf hides under the bed, I guess, or the other way around. You also have a bridge here in the outdoor part. You got a tree, a walkway into the house, and there's supposed to be a gate here. And then you got this table with two chairs that kind of spin for some reason. I don't quite know, but I do kind of like anything that spins. This has an actual cloth bed covering, and the bed swings up to hide a character. And then there's a chair and like a little night table. And then you've got the battery compartment with the batteries. And that's supposed to make something light up here, but it's not doing it here. So I was fine with this. I bought a second set. This one has the house included, so I bought that. Now this one has no button throw whatsoever, and there's a tab here, so you know this is not electronic. So again, I bought it because, hey, it was more complete. And sometimes I buy something and I find something a little more complete later and I buy a version. Like this, for example, has the working gate. Again, these are never very expensive, otherwise I wouldn't bother. And then underneath, oh look, it was sold without figures. When I lifted up the bed, look what I found. I found Granny. And that was quite the find, because it was sold to me, no figures at all. So they didn't even check under the bed. I want to put Granny here right here for a moment for a reason. I'll pop the bed back down. We have the full house here, which is great. And we also have a non-battery compartment. If I was to tear this tab out, which I'd done before, and pull this off, you'd find the battery compartment, but there would be no metal pieces and no hooked up electronics. Inside here you have the mirror, but this button is solid, so it's been glued in place and does not have an actual switch. This one's missing the cord, thankfully, because I can close it. All right, moving on to the next one. I bought a third one because it had characters. So this has Little Red Riding Hood, and this has the wolf. But guess what I got in the previous set? I got Grandma. So now this set, as far as I know, is actually complete. It's got the working gate. It's got everything that works perfectly fine. It has got the tab, though, with no electronics. So you open this up and you see the mirror and the non-functioning button. But again, one of these has the electronics. So I'm going to try to knit together an electronic version of this that works once I get the battery connection sorted out, and it will contain all the figures. So that's my goal with this set. I'm going to try to make a complete set out of this. And this is kind of why I buy multiples of these, because sometimes I can buy them for the inspiration, and then I find, you know, there's another one for sale today that has like a couple of characters, or there's something else that I was missing. And so what I plan to do in the situations like this is try to make the most complete one I can, and then sell the others as parts, and they'll be sold pretty cheaply. They're mostly because, hey, what if you have this and some characters and you don't have the gate or you don't have the house? You can buy mine and it'll be pretty cheap. I'm not going to sell these for a lot. Mainly, though, by collecting a bunch of these, I end up with, hopefully, fairly complete sets. Now, some of them just don't have the characters, and maybe I'll find those later. I'm not sure. Not too worried. Mostly because I make my own sets, a lot of this stuff is purchased on the cheap for inspiration. And then when I get it, I say, oh, look, there's a one with a bit more complete and one a little more complete, a little more complete. And I keep buying them until eventually, if I'm very lucky, I will have 4 absolutely complete. But if I don't, no big deal. Anyway, I wanted to show these to you because a lot of people consider these knockoffs. I consider them just another company trying to do something really good for kids. And I think they succeeded, but very inconsistently. That's electronics, no electronics. Anyway, so for me, Sean Huckster, welcome to Magical Little Worlds. Tune in next time. You never know what you're going to see. Talk to you later. Bye.